everyone has different perspectives about things. I think one of the things that stunts the growth of people is listening and hearing other people's perspective. And that's what this is about, hearing a different perspective. And it challenges us to grow. Well, what we're finding out is that a lot of people don't want to be challenged to grow because it's the echo chamber. People want to live in the echo chamber, the things that sound like me, look like me. It makes me feel comfortable. And the thing is, once you open yourself up to someone else's perspective, it challenges you to challenge what you believe. And the thing is, especially as believers, when you know better, we must do better. It's kind of like if you know what God is saying about this or that, we have a different accountability level in our life whenever we know about things. And so some people want to live in the echo chamber of, I'm talking about as believers, want to live in an echo chamber and not give anything else an opportunity. Because when I tell you, as your friend and your brother, like what happened to me at the beginning of COVID in my neighborhood. So when I tell you, what I'm about to tell you, when I sit down with you and as your brother, you know me, you trust me, you love me. And I tell you at the beginning of COVID, I'm walking through my neighborhood and like everyone else during COVID, our neighborhood everyone was walking. Everyone wanted to get out the house. I'm walking through my neighborhood just like everyone else in a nice neighborhood. And a police officer stopped me and asked me if I'm lost. Now you have hundreds of people, literally every day. It's that many people walking. Not hundreds, but maybe 100 of people that walk daily during the COVID, especially the first 4 or 5 weeks. Cops stopped me and asked me if I was lost and where was I headed. And I told them that I was not lost, and I'm just out walking. And he said, well, where are you headed to? Where do you live at? I knew at that time, at that moment, that my response was going to direct how this conversation was going to go. Because I knew immediately if a cop was crazy enough, and I use that term on purpose, to stop me, a random person in a neighborhood where many people are walking, if he's crazy enough to stop me, he's crazy enough to put me in the back of his car. I wouldn't go as far as saying shoot me, but he's crazy enough to make the situation escalate where I could find myself in handcuffs or down at the police station. And so I had to answer skillfully. The part that people don't get is, man, we're angry about having to defend ourselves. And so when you see someone in a situation and you're saying, why don't he just comply or this and that? If someone keeps on messing with you, someone keep on throwing rocks at your window, it don't matter how nice you are. You could be the most godliest person in the world. Somebody keep on throwing a rock at your window. Eventually you're gonna open up the window and say, what's the problem? What's going on? Why are you acting like this? People forget that the person that's on the other side of that camera that people are looking at, they forget that they are human beings with feelings and emotions. And so if you feel like someone is messing with you for no reason, because in this case, someone was messing with me for no reason. I own a house in that neighborhood. I live in that neighborhood. And not only that, many people are walking. And so I recognize the temperature of what was going on. So basically I just told him I was out for a walk like everyone else. And I live in the neighborhood, but I stopped at letting them know where I live because I didn't have to tell them that. But when I told him, I said, I'm out in the neighborhood like everyone else walking, I think he realized at that moment that I understood that you were profiling me, and so he drove off, he left or whatever. So, if I fit the description of someone that did something wrong, or if I was a person that was a bad person, someone just broke in the house, you wouldn't have drove off. You would have kept checking and you would have dug in. So that lets me know that you randomly stopped me. Like you didn't get a call or a text saying, hey, there's this suspicious dude or whatever. Cause I didn't even tell you where I live. I just got to the point where saying I live in this neighborhood. Things like that is real. And so when I tell you that perspective, when you know me, and to go back to what I'm saying, the reason some people rather live in an echo chamber is because when you hear that perspective, if you never dealt with that before, it makes you say, dang, man, like, I guess this is real. That's a coincidence. Well, is it a coincidence? So when me and my friends was slammed on the hood of a car and we was fully compliant. Fully compliant. I guess it might have been about 19 to 20. Was that a coincidence? So the thing is, it's a fine line because I honor police officers. I love the police. One of my mentors is a police officer right now. I team up with Oklahoma City Police Department every summer to work the FACT program. So I don't have anything against police. So when I tell you this, it's from a place of this is my reality, but I also understand that I still honor and love the police, and I can give a truth without being a threat to society on what we all think about police officers.